We'll start with Dan Hooker. Hey. I'm pretty sure it would have been like 2020 when Dan Hooker had his fight against Dustin Poirier. And if you know, you know. That was a wild fight. It's probably one of the greatest fights I've ever seen in my life. I don't think the camera is going to be able to sustain itself with the wind on how it's balanced right now. But I'll leave it there for a second. But then, who did Dan Hooker fight right after Dustin? It wasn't Islam. I think he had one more fight in between that. Let me double check real quick. I think Danny the Hangman Hooker fought, let's see real quick, because he ended up having a really bad, I think 3 fights losing streak, right? And the hard part about it is because he's one of Izzy's main training partners, and he has gotten the best of Izzy on many occasions while training. Alright, so check this out, guys. In 2020, Dan Hooker and Dustin Poirier met, and the decision went to Dustin after 5 rounds. In 2021, he fought Islam. Got tapped out in 40 seconds? That was crazy. Not cool. And then in 2022, didn't he fight one more tough dude and had a rough go at it? Who was it? In 2022? Yeah, man. He beat that guy by TKO in round 2 last year. Really? Now that's the fight that I was thinking of, him versus Arnold Allen. Right? Arnold Allen and Dan Hooker? That was in the same year. Okay. So, he loses to Islam. Okay, here we go. He loses to Islam. That was the other one. That was the one that I couldn't think of, Michael Chandler, right? He was backpedaling and got caught on his back foot. That sucked, bro. The thing about that fight and how he got caught is Michael Chandler carries his hands so far down by his waist that it's hard to detect, or what's the right word that there's no telegraph, because it's coming from so low down that it's hard to see in real time. And he ended up getting caught by one of those wild hooks right on the chin, man. Then he fought another dude. He beat another dude. Then he fought Islam. Lost to Islam. Lost to whoever else I just named, Arnold Allen, and then beat Claudio Puelles. And then in 2023, he fought Jalen Turner. And apparently they were supposed to fight before, but the fight got canceled. I didn't realize that. I would be interested to see why, because post Dan Hooker, Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker done broke his face and his arm. So I wonder if maybe he had to pull out of their other fight because of some of those similar injuries, and that he just is such a dog. He ended up fighting him a couple of fight cards later and just pushed through it. But he dyed his hair. He got a bunch of tattoos, and I was nervous, super nervous for him in the second round, because the thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and this applies really, really much so to Robert Whittaker, guys, and I'm telling you, this is the fact of the matter, is once you get chin checked and you get caught, your entire physiology changes. And I actually heard it argued before that there's some type of natural defense mechanism that your body has, that it'll kind of just shut off because it knows it's in like a kind of like a life or death situation. And kind of like to protect yourself. It just let me answer, bro. I'm making a video right now. I'll call you back. All right. Oh, you probably butt dialed me. So, you know, Dan Hooker, fuck, dude, I think maybe Kevin Lee, unfortunately, Charles Oliveira. Now, thank God that when he gets caught, he gets flash KO'd, and he doesn't get fully KO'd. But Jake, let me call you right back. I'm doing a video, brother. You hear me? Dude, you can't butt dial me twice in a row, dude. So it's just a sad thing to see. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you see somebody like Nate Diaz, who his chin just fucking, excuse my language, who his chin just never gives up, never gives in, never gives out. Another person I kind of think of right now is, who just came to my mind, is, it was just on the tip of my brain, man. But it's an unfortunate thing, and I felt that way in the second round with Dan Hooker, man. I got nervous, I got scared, man. I was biting my fingernails, dude. I was freaking out a little bit, dude, because he's a good dude, seemingly, you know. He's a great fighter, practices with Izzy. He had a great run. Potentially, dude, the way that life works and the way that the UFC works, and the UFC is largely a metaphor for life in a lot of ways and stuff, is, dude, sometimes it's just like a splinter in the road could totally shift the entire trajectory of your career, man. And that happened, in my opinion, with Dan Hooker. But the most beautiful thing about it is it's not over. And now he has a little bit of momentum. And now I think this is a huge part of it too. Aside from the physiological aspect of getting knocked out, I think mentally getting through that Jalen Turner fight, I think now especially that's going to fuel his fire a little bit more. It's going to light his spirit on fire. And I think he'll be less susceptible to getting chin checked in that way that I just described again. Because, dude, your mental is everything, man. Mental is so powerful. But I'm gonna do another video on the chin thing because it's a deep topic and I'm trying to condense a lot of shit into a short period of time. But Jalen Turner's a savage, dude. Now check this out. I tried to explain it to the dude who just called me last night and he just wasn't trying to hear it. But Neil Dariush fought Gamrot, however you say that dude's name. That was a savage fight, dude. From the beginning bell, non-stop, savage wrestling match, dude. Going at it, dude, hard. But Neil Dariush, being the animal that he is, ends up coming out with the W. Then he fought Charles right after that. Sucks, dude. It sucks so bad. Poor Beneil. But that dude Gamrot, after putting on such a crazy performance against Beneil, who arguably could have been our next champion, right, dude? There's a high probability that he would have put up a phenomenal fight against Islam. And I think that he's a slow starter. Everybody talks about Beneil being a slow starter, and there was something about that night against Charles where he just didn't seem turned on, right? It seemed like he was moving slow, dude. Guys, and I'm not like this. I would like to think that I would approach the octagon in a complete calm state of being, right? Which a lot of people say that you should, and, you know, to control your emotions so that you don't adrenaline dump. But the second that bell rings and the referee says it's time to fight or whatever, you have to flip a switch physiologically. And it has to be in a controlled manner so you don't adrenaline dump, but you have to turn on, bro. And just like Justin Gaethje always says, and I should have brought him up a moment ago because I think Michael Chandler's a little bit like that. He's got that weak chin too, right? Not weak, but I'm just telling you guys this. You know, one is my opinion, and two, this is just a fact of the matter. Is once you get chin checked, dude, your chin changes. But Justin Gaethje says, dude, when you're ready to take a punch, it completely changes the outcome than when people get caught when they're on their back foot, when it's unexpected. So, anyways, Jalen Turner's no slouch. He kind of beat the shit out of Gamrot. I'm pretty sure. I don't recall vividly in Gamrot. Please forgive me, dude. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just talking shit as a fan. But it did seem like he kind of beat the shit out of him. And then